FDA has regulatory authority over all tobacco products sold in the U.S., and they're moving forward a rule which would mandate the reduction of nicotine in all cigarettes sold in the United States by about 95%.
Welcome back inside our proactive newsroom. And joining me now is Joe Pandolfino. He is the CEO of Cabbacis. And Joe, it's good to see you. How are you?
Well, how about you?
I'm doing very well. Thanks very much. And good to have you along. Excited to learn a little bit more about the company. Tell me a little bit about the company.
Well, Cabbacis is a federally licensed tobacco product manufacturer. We have 35 issued patents worldwide covering our iBlend cigarettes and iBlend vaporizer pods. And we have a proven management team with over 50 years experience in the tobacco space. And we have established manufacturing facility in Niagara Falls, New York. And the problem we're solving is to increase the acceptability of very low nicotine cigarettes, which have about 95% less nicotine than conventional cigarettes. And these have been proven in dozens of peer-reviewed studies to reduce smoking and to reduce nicotine exposure and dependence.
Yeah, tell me a bit about some of the markets that you serve and sort of what the products you have. That you mentioned iBlend, and maybe you can talk a bit more about the product itself and sort of where you like to market these out.
Right. Well, at the moment, we're a pre-revenue company. So iBlend is a blend. It's predominantly tobacco, and it has added hemp. And what the added hemp does is that it increases the acceptability of very low nicotine cigarettes by about a 2-to-1 margin, which our focus groups have essentially repeatedly shown. So without the hemp, the product works very well, but smokers aren't very enthused about it. So the added hemp gives it a much more favorability over the very low nicotine cigarettes without hemp.
Yeah, I was reading up on the company, and I was reading over the proposal potentially from the FDA to in essence cap the nicotine that are available in cigarettes in the United States. So sort of talk to me about this and what this could mean for the company.
Sure. So FDA has regulatory authority over all tobacco products sold in the U.S., and they're moving forward a rule which would mandate the reduction of nicotine in all cigarettes sold in the United States by about 95%. And that is based on, as I mentioned, these dozens of studies with a government research cigarette that actually I designed in conjunction with our VP of R&D about 14 years ago. It's actually called Spectrum. It's not sold commercially, but what all those studies show, as I mentioned, smokers smoke less, and they reduce their nicotine dependence and exposure, and it makes them more apt to switch to non-combustible cigarette or non-combustible tobacco products, which, by all accounts, are much better than combustible products because there's no smoke involved.
Yeah, Joe, tell me what's ahead for 2026. What can people expect from the company?
Well, we'll be filing a pre-market tobacco application with FDA for our iBlend products in the first half of 2026. We're going to do a couple more studies in the first quarter. Then once we file that, FDA, well, by statute, they have 180 business days to reply with an answer. So it's not like a drug trial where there's phase 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
They simply say yes or no. And the fact that it coincides with their proposed nicotine mandate of reducing all cigarettes by 95% nicotine, we feel comfortable. You have to remember, smoking remains the #1 cause of premature death in the United States per CDC. And actually, it's the number one cause of premature death in the world per the World Health Organization. So it's obviously a monumental problem that needs to be addressed.
Yeah. Joe, thank you so much. It sounds like it's going to be a busy year ahead, and it already has been busy up to this point, I'm sure. So really appreciate your time. Thanks so much for being here, and continued success, okay?
Thank you very much.
All right, there's a Joe Pandolfino. He is the CEO of Cabbacis.